So now that you guys have done a little bit of research on how expensive different cities are to live in, just by looking at the median sort of cost of homes up here, then you guys should have looked at 5 different homes and done a 15-year and 30-year mortgage breakdown. And mortgage is just a fancy way to say home loan. And you should have noticed a very similar pattern of our car loan project, where if you choose the shorter loan term, so the shorter amount of time to pay back all that money to the bank, you're going to have a higher monthly payment, but you're going to pay less interest overall. So you're going to actually pay less for that house over those 15 years. But if you look at the monthly payment, you might not be able to afford that much money 15 years every single month. So whenever you choose a longer loan term, two things always happen with loans. Always. One, your monthly payment will go down when you choose to have more time to pay back the money. So you will have, in my example, almost $800 more a month. But since you are paying for so much longer, you pay way more in interest to the bank, and you actually pay hundreds of thousands of dollars more usually when it comes to a house. But that might be a trade off you have to make in order to hit that monthly payment. So now the question is, what jobs can afford these types of houses? So when we come down after all of your sort of breakdown, um, you are going to choose one house in order to decide, is it affordable? And you're going to choose 3 different careers to try to decide if any of those careers, if you can actually afford that house, if we're also following the budget recommendations of that budget project we did to start the year, where we only want to spend 50% on our needs, 30% on wants, and 20% savings. And out of the 50% of needs, hopefully your house is no more than 28% of your monthly salary. So we're going to do a little exercise here to decide, can you afford it? Okay. So up here, out of your 5 houses up top, go ahead and write down what the city and state is. I'm going to do my Denver, Colorado. Decide if you're going to use the 15 or 30-year mortgage example to decide if your job can pay for that house. I'm going to choose the 30 years because it has a lower monthly payment. Now let's go grab that monthly payment of whichever house you're going to be using for this last little example. I'm using my first house, 30-year loan. Monthly payment is $2,013. So I'm going to type in $2,013. Oops. We are going to skip the tax amount for now, so you can just sort of leave it blank. We're going to leave this blank. We're going to leave this blank as well. But I would like to know why you chose that house for this example. So now your next step, guys, is you guys are going to do this for 3 different careers, and you guys can use the same jobs that you found during option A. But you guys, for some reason, this link doesn't work. So go back to Google Classroom, guys, under the option G final workbook, and use this website that you see right here. And it's going to take you to that same job research website that some of you guys did back in September. So use those same jobs if you want, search around. If you are looking just for researching, I like to go to the Bright Outlook because these are the jobs that we already kind of know are going to be growing rapidly, and they'll have a lot of job opportunities for you. If you don't like these, feel free to go up here and click on interests, and you guys can do this sort of career quiz again to get recommendations on what to look at, okay? Or you guys can just sort of click through. But once you guys can do this for 3 different jobs. So once you find a job that you like, click on it, read a little bit about what it is, what you need, what type of education you would need to try to make sure you get to get that job. But then you're going to go down and grab that number that's at the top of this little chart, because this is sort of the median typical salary you get with that job. So that for this one, it's going to be $73,300. So I'm going to go back and type in acute care nurse. Median salary is $73,300. Now you're going to need a calculator. I like my little Desmos right here. Feel free to use the calculator on your phone though, but we will need a little calculating action here. The for function should be fine for what we need today. Now, remember, your median annual salary is how much money you typically get in a full year before taxes. So this next box, we need to sort of simulate taking taxes out. And I'm going to use a bigger number. 25% is kind of a really large number, which is why we're going to take our median annual salary times 0.25. That is going to be 25% taxes. For a lot of us, typical taxes can be anywhere from 15% to 25%. So I'm going to use the bigger number, 0.25, to represent a lot of taxes of 25%. Feel free, though, to use 0.15, 15%, which will represent less taxes. But most people pay between 15 to 25%. So I'm going to go take my 73,000 times 0.25. And so there's 18,250. And I'm going to set over to the side, just representing taxes, okay? And now, in order to get your net salary, which means how much money you get after taxes, is we need to take the annual minus the taxes. So over here, I'm going to do my salary, and I need to take out those taxes. And I'm left with, oh, I made a typo. And then I'd be left with 54,750. 54,750. And now we need to turn that into a monthly salary. So we're going to, once again, sort of obey what's inside of these parentheses. We're going to divide our net salary by 12, since there are 12 months in the year. So take whatever you make after taxes divided by 12. So that would come out to being about $4,562 per month as my salary. Pretty good salary to be a nurse. 4,562. And don't forget those 50 cents. Now we want to know the amount available for a house payment. Ideally, you want to keep how much you pay for like rent or a mortgage to no more than 28% of your monthly salary. It's okay to do a little bit more, but a lot of experts sort of say that you're really doing a good job with your money if you keep it at 28% or below. So I'm going to take my monthly salary and multiply it times 0.28 to get 28%. 4,562.5 times 0.28, because that's going to be 28% as a decimal. And so that means that I sort of have a budget of $1,277 and 50 cents. So if I'm meeting this budget goal of only spending $1,277 on my house, now let's decide, can I afford the house with my choice of the career? So hopefully, if I'm meeting the 28% goal, I'm not going to be spending more than $1,277. But if I go back up here, the monthly payment for the house I chose is $2,000, which is more than 28% of my monthly paycheck. That's almost half of it. So right here, can I afford the house with my choice of career? No. So that house is a little bit too expensive for the income that a typical acute care nurse makes. Of course, that's assuming that I'm trying to keep my salary at 28% or lower. That's going towards my house. But you guys are going to do this for 2 more jobs, where you will find that median salary times 0.25 or 0.15 if you want to do 15% in taxes. Subtract whatever you get from taxes from your salary, divide it by 12, then times 0.28 to see what 28% of your salary would be, and then go check, is that bigger or smaller than how much your house costs for the one that you did? So you guys can get an idea of what types of jobs help you afford which types of houses. Ideally, making sure that we are not spending more than 28% of our salary on housing.